The other day, Minecraft Path of the Jedi, a story-based Star Wars DLC for Minecraft set in the prequel era, released, and as you may have seen, I streamed my entire playthrough of it and completed it besides the remaining dueling matches. So in today's video, I wanted to give you guys a full and compact review of this DLC. But before I do get into it, make sure you are subscribed to the channel with the notification bell turned on for more Path of the Jedi and Star Wars gaming content, and watch until the end to find out my full thoughts. So the DLC overall cost me around £7, or if you're using Minecraft coins, I believe it came to around 1,510 coins. So £7 isn't really a lot of money, and overall it took me around 3 hours to complete, but like I said, I still have the dueling matches to do and some other challenges, so I've not 100%ed it yet, and that will no doubt take me a couple more hours because I'm terrible at dueling. But the 3 hours to get through the entire thing was me honestly taking my time for the most part and experiencing 11 crashes in total. Now although I did have a lot of crashes, they thankfully didn't really impact me too much, and they didn't really impact my enjoyment whatsoever, and honestly that was really the only downside to this DLC for me, as I did honestly have a lot of fun. Naturally, with it being a Minecraft DLC, it was never going to be crazy long or anything like that, but what is nice is that you can replay any of the missions at any time. All you have to do is just go and speak to the respective Jedi Master, and like I said, there are challenges to complete and they unlock you new robes for you to be able to equip, and you even get to explore the Jedi Temple as well. So whilst it is a short DLC, it is definitely replayable, and something I noticed whilst playing through it for the second time was that getting the Kyber Crystal took me on a different path to the one that I took in the game when I streamed it, so I thought that was a really neat feature, and I guess it means there are a couple of different paths that people can play on, so it just makes the experience a little bit different depending on who's playing, which I thought was great. So the introduction itself overall was really fun. It was something that was familiar because we'd seen Clone Wars episodes with people finding their Kyber Crystal, and we obviously got to do it in Jedi Fallen Order as well, and then we got to meet Hu Yang again, which was just really cool because he's one of my favourite characters right now, and the whole introduction to the game I just really enjoyed. And then as for the missions themselves, they were all unique in their own way, which was also a lot of fun. You could duel, fight beasts and tame them, complete puzzle rooms like in the Jedi games from Respawn, and more, so it does feel like there's something in there for everyone to a degree, and each of the missions honestly did feel a little bit like you were actually playing through an episode of the Clone Wars, so that was definitely something that I found really cool, especially since I grew up on the Clone Wars. Speaking of the actual story itself then, like I said, it does take place in the Clone Wars following the retrieval of the Kyber Crystal and ship repair stage, because that takes place years prior, but it really does feel like you're actually in the Clone Wars, and it almost feels like a slightly canon story because there are so many familiar faces and places from the show throughout the story, and each of the locations looked amazing as well. They really nailed the details, I thought, and I did feel immersed in these actual locations. The Camino mission in particular I thought was really cool because that actually had battle droids reawakening following a battle on Camino, so it was honestly great to be able to almost get some kind of continuation from that. As for the gameplay itself, you attack and block, you jump, and then have 3 force powers, which are push, pull and grab, and with it being Minecraft of course it's going to be pretty simple, but it was genuinely a lot of fun and it never felt too repetitive either, and I think that's partly because you come up against quite a few different enemies in totally different places, so I think that's part of what made it so enjoyable. Personally, I enjoyed playing in third person gameplay the most, as I could actually see the animations and really soak it all in and really appreciate that, but I definitely found first person was easier for combat situations thanks to one of the developers in my stream the other day, so if you're in a tough fighting situation or you're dueling, I would definitely recommend going in first person. Finally, for the customization, the game gives us 31 skins to play as, from the likes of random Jedi or even some of your favourite Clone Wars characters from the show like Cad Bane or Captain Rex. So that's really awesome if that's something that you like doing. I personally chose to play as a random Jedi to make myself feel a little bit more immersed, but I think I will definitely be playing it as one of my favourite characters at some stage. Now those skins are cool and all, but the droid customization is honestly elite, and I'm being a bit biased here on this because it allowed me to literally create the droid that I built in person at the droid factory in Disneyland Paris a year and a half ago, which honestly blew me away. Now I know the head isn't quite the same, but it's still such a cool thing to be able to do, and there is a fair bit of variation with the paints as well, which I really liked, so I was definitely a big fan of that. And as for the lightsabers, it was also pretty solid as well. You could choose from 3 stances, which was single blade, double blade and dual sabers, and you could also have pretty much most of the lightsaber colours apart from like red and white and whatnot, and they also came with a pretty vast array of different hilt types, so there are genuinely tons of different combinations you can choose from with your lightsaber, which is really cool. It's obviously not as in-depth as something like Jedi Survivor, which obviously with it being Minecraft is going to be the case, but it's still really cool to be be able to personalize it a little bit, and I'm sure someone out there has figured out the exact number of different combinations. Overall then, I found Minecraft Path of the Jedi to be short but very sweet. It provided me with a great Clone Wars experience that felt a little bit like the show and provides plenty of fun customization options to personalize the experience a bit. And I think a big part of it as well is it is definitely replayable and there are challenges to try and complete, so I'll definitely be going back to it at some point soon to try and do those. And personally, I would definitely recommend getting it if you are a Star Wars fan, as it genuinely does feel like a mini Star Wars game has just released, and it's come out during a time where we're not really getting anything apart from the odd hint of news here and there, so it definitely scratched a bit of an itch for me and I really enjoyed that. But that is my full review on Path of the Jedi, guys. Be sure to let me know what your thoughts on it are in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more. That is it from me today though, guys. Thank you all very much for watching, and may the Force be with you always.